Start.
Welcome student. Today we are going to see events in anther. Now here this one is the stamen. It consists of these anther lobe. Here like this filament. But here I denote this anther lobe as an immature anther. Means this anther is not mature. Immature anther. Generally immature anthers, they are present in such a bud condition. These are the buds of these Deinonyx regia, and in these bud immature anthers are there. Second example, this one, that is the Aza directa indica. In case of this Aza directa indica, in this bud, see here, this one is the bud, and in this bud such type of immature anther is present. Means that anther is not mature. Such an immature anther, it shows a single, this one, lining of these epidermal cell. We call it as epidermis, and here in the middle it shows meristematic cells. Now this epidermis means, epi means above, like this, above, and dermis means skin. This one is the skin of this anther, epidermis, and beneath this epidermis here meristematic tissues are present, or meristematic cells are present. Meristematic cells means such cells which are always dividing in nature. Means this cell undergoes mitosis, in mitosis cell division. This cell shows a dense cytoplasm and prominent nucleus, and they are always dividing in nature. These meristematic cell divide and redivide by mitosis cell division and get transformed into these tetragonal anther. Like this tetragonal anther formation takes place, in which two lobe formation takes place. When the two lobe formation takes place in the anther, when the two lobe formation takes place in the anther like this one is the filament, and this one is the one lobe, and this one is the another lobe. One lobe and another lobe. Second lobe, we call it as a diathecus, like this. Diathecus type of anther. Di means two, theca means lobe. Like this, a two-lobed anther. So here, due to these meristematic tissue divide and redivide, and these anther, it get transformed into tetragonal anther, like this. Consist of, this one is the one lobe and this one is the another lobe. Now here the tissues are present. Out of these tissue, out of these meristematic tissue, here one cell in each corner of this lobe, one cell behave anomalous. Means this cell, in one cell the volume of cytoplasm get increased, the volume of nucleoplasm get increased, and it prominently seen. And this cell, we call it as a archisporial cell, and these archisporial cell present beneath the epidermis. In this archisporial cell, periclinal division takes place, and due to this periclinal division, in each corner from these archisporial cell, when it divide into two cells, one cell which get attached to the epidermis, that cell we call it as a primary parietal cell, or we call it as a PPC. And second cell which is facing towards this connective, that cell we call it as a primary sporogenous cell, PSC. Now from this primary parietal cell, PPC, this primary parietal cell divide and redivide, and it get differentiated into three wall of the anther. One we call it as endothecium. Beneath endothecium, next wall formation takes place, known as middle layer, and beneath this middle layer, next wall formation takes place, that is a tapetum. Beneath epidermis, endothecium, then second wall, that is a middle layer, and then beneath this middle layer, next wall formation takes place. We call it as a tapetum. These all three wall, endothecium, middle layer, and this tapetum, formed from these primary parietal cell, PPC cell. These are three wall, endothecium, middle layer, and tapetum. And from these primary sporogenous cell, PSC cell, sporogenous tissue formation takes place. From these primary sporogenous cell, from these sporogenous cell formation takes place. Now see here, this endothecium, middle layer, tapetum formed from this primary parietal cell, and this sporogenous tissue formed by this primary sporogenous cell. So like this, here, in case of these tears of this young anther, in case of this diathecus anther, different wall formation takes place in the anther. Outermost we call it as epidermis. Beneath the epidermis, next that is the endothecium. Beneath the endothecium we call it as a middle layer. Beneath the middle layer we call it as a tapetum. And here one sac-like structure or bag-like structure formation takes place, in which the sporogenous tissue formation takes place from these primary sporogenous cell. Now in case of these mature, like this anther, if you take a section, transverse section through this anther lobe, it clearly shows 1, 2, 3, 4. Collectively these structures in which the sporogenous tissues are present, we call it as a microsporangia, or we call it as a pollen sac. This one. Beneath and in between these 1, 2, 3, 4 microsporangia, here connective is present. In one lobe 2 microsporangias are present, and in the another lobe like these 2 microsporangia are present. One structure out of these 2 microsporangia, this one we call it as a microsporangium, and here one microsporangium get focus. Enlarge view of one microsporangium means these microsporangium get focus here like this one. So we will see the details of these enlarged view of one microsporangium. These microsporangium, it shows this one, outermost this one layer, we call it as epidermis. Here epi means above, and this dermis we call it as skin. Now in case of this anther, epidermis, this one epidermis, it is made up of a single cell. It is a single cell thick layer. Now this epidermis, it do not form by the archisporial this cell. This epidermis do not form by this archisporial cell, because from this archisporial cell, this endothecium, middle layer, tapetum, and from these primary sporogenous cell, these sporogenous tissue formation takes place. But epidermis do not form from the archisporial cell. Beneath the epidermis, next layer is there. Next wall of anther is present. We call it as endothecium. Now this endothecium is also single cell thick layer. This endothecium, this one, single cell thick layer, this wall. The wall facing towards the epidermis, this one. It is made up of a fibrous thickening, this wall. And the inner wall of this endothecial, this layer, it is made up of this one. It is made up of alpha cellulose fiber, and it shows a radial callous band. It shows what? Like this, a radial callous band. So radial callous band are also present on these endothecium layer. Now these fibrous thickening is a thin, and the inner wall, this one, which is made up of alpha cellulose fiber, and due to the radial callous band, this one inner wall of these endothecium, it become thick. Now in case of anther, this one we call it as a line of dehiscence. This one means in case of these anther, these a portion we call it as a line of dehiscence. In these portion, the wall of these outer endothecium as well as inner wall of these endothecium, in case of these portion here, these are fibrous thickening as well as the alpha cellulose fiber as well as the radial callous band, they are absent, or if present they are very small in quantity, due to which these portion it become a thin, and this portion we call it as a stomium. And from these portion, when these anther it get mature, at that time from this stomium region, where these all the endothecium wall is very delicate or thin, from these portion anther it get dehisce. From these portion we call it as a line of dehiscence. From these stomium, this region, anther it get dehisce. Dehiscence we call it as a burst. Dehiscence we call it as a breaking of what? That anther lobe. And this dehiscence takes place due to the formation of pollen grain. In these we call it as a pollen sac. Here sporogenous tissues are present, and in these sporogenous tissue, by the process of meiosis, cell division, lastly by the process we call it as a microsporogenesis, lastly pollen grain formation takes place. From one microspore mother cell, 4 pollen grain formation takes place, and in the pollen sac, due to large number of like these pollen grain, it create a pressure, and due to this pressure, from these line of dehiscence, from the stomium region, anther it get burst and pollen grain get released. Beside these layer endothecium, it is hygroscopic in nature, means it absorb moisture from the surrounding, and when the anther it becomes mature, at that time these water which is present in this cell, it release, and due to which it get break from this region. That region we call it as what? Stomium. Next, beneath the endothecium, beneath this endothecium, 1, 2 and 3. In some cases 1, 2, 3 layer, or in some species more than these 3 layer, like this a multi-layer middle layer is present. And this middle layer, it is a parenchymatous in nature. Middle layer is parenchymatous in nature, and this middle layer, this cell, they are parenchymatous in nature, and in this parenchyma cell, they has a capacity to store the food material. Means in these 1, 2, 3 middle layer, food material is present. They store the food material. This middle layer is a short-lived. Means in the maturation period, this middle layer, when this anther lobe it becomes mature, at that time this middle layer transfer the food material which is present in the cell by the process of diffusion, or the process of, we call it as osmosis. Food material from this middle layer get transferred to this inner layer. This one we call it as a fourth layer, fourth wall of these, or we call it as a tapetum. From this middle layer, the food material which is there, that food material it get transferred transformed here by the process of osmosis or by the process of diffusion, and ultimately food material is given to this layer. That layer we call it as a tapetum, and this middle layer we call it as a short-lived layer. When the anther it get mature, at that time these three layer it get disintegrate. Means these 3 layer it get disintegrate, means in the mature anther lobe, this middle layer it get disintegrate, or we call in the mature anther it is absent. Next, this layer beneath the endothecium, this layer which is there, that layer we call it as a tapetum layer or tapetal layer. This is a tapetum or tapetal layer. It is a nutritive in nature, means it provide nutrition, food material. It provide nutrition to the developing this sporogenous tissue. From this sporogenous tissue, in the future pollen grain formation takes place, and for this pollen grain formation process, these tapetum provide food material to this sporogenous tissue. Now see here, these tapetum are of 2 types. One we call it as a amoeboid, or we call it as a periplasmodial tapetum, and second we call it as a secretory or glandular tapetum. These amoeboid or periplasmodial tapetum generally found in case of primitive angiosperm. For example, in case of typha, in case of these alisma, and in case of these tradescantia. In case of these primitive angiosperm, amoeboid or periplasmodial type of tapetum formation takes place. Means here the tapetal cell which is there, in some cases they are like this, and in some cases these tapetal cells are pyramidal like structures. But in case of these amoeboid or periplasmodial type of these tapetum, when the anthers becomes mature, at that time these amoeboid or these periplasmodial tapetum, it move on these in these sporogenous tissue where the pollen grain formation process is going on, and it provide nutrition to the developing that pollen grains. And in case of these secretory, second type of these tapetum, that is a secretory, or we call it as a glandular type of tapetum. This one, it is present in a majority of like this angiospermic plant. It is present or it is found in case of advanced angiospermic plant. For example, the capsula. For example, what? Capsula. It is also present in this plant. We call it as Dolonex regia. It is also present in case of this plant. We call it as Aza directa indica, neem. Now these secretory or these glandular type of these tapetum, in the beginning it is diploid in nature. This tapetum layer, it is diploid in nature, means here the nucleus which is present in these tapetal cell, the nucleus which is present, that the nucleus is only one like this, and it is diploid in nature. For example, this is a plant, we call it as, for example, Dolonex regia. If chromosome number is 8 like this, means 4 chromosomes from maternal side and 4 chromosomes from like this paternal side. This one 4 and 4, haploid and haploid, we call it as a diploid, 8 like this. Means in the beginning it is like this, a diploid in nature. In the beginning it is a diploid in nature, but later on it becomes polyploid. Means these nucleus it becomes polyploid and polyploid and multinucleate also. Means this nucleus it become polyploid and multinucleate, means this nucleus divide and redivide and forms like this a multinuclei in each cell. This tapetal layer is very important layer. in which a dense cytoplasm is present. Nucleus is a prominent. In the beginning, nucleus is diploid in nature, and this nucleus is diploid in nature, but later on this nucleus in this nucleus, the chromosome which is there, that chromosome they divide, or the chromosome numbers, it becomes double, and the chromosome numbers reach up to like this 64, because in these cell spindle fiber formation is absent, due to which the chromosome numbers multiply and it get transformed into polyploid. It get transformed into like this polyploid condition, and it is a multinucleate, means in these tapetal cell free nuclear division takes place. This nucleus divide and redivide. Due to free nuclear division, many nucleus formation takes place in these tapetal cells like this. Now in these tapetal cell, pro-ubish body formation takes place. Dear student, these portion is very important as far as the NEET exam is concerned. In the NEET exams, they ask the question from this portion. These tapetal cell, they form these pro-ubish bodies in the cytoplasm before disintegration. These pro-ubish bodies which is formed in these cell, these pro-ubish bodies also known as orbiculus, and is orbiculus according to the G.L. Gazella and Lenson in 1987 in their research paper Swedish Museum of Natural History, denote these ubish bodies as these orbicules. So orbicules, or we call it as a ubish body. Pro-ubish body which is formed here in these tapetal layer. This is a pro-ubish body. When mature, we call it as orbicules or ubish body. Help in the formation of exine layer. Due to these ubish body, when the anther lobe or these pollen gray, these anther becomes mature, at that time these tapetal cells release this ubish body in these sporogenous tissue, where the meiosis cell division is going on in the pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell. Due to this ubish body, when in these microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell, meiosis cell division start, and due to the meiosis cell division, that process we call it as a microsporogenesis. Ultimately, pollen grain which is formed in these pollen grain, the outer wall, we call it as exine. This exine in these pollen grain, it is formed due to this ubish body. Means this ubish body, it contribute in the formation of this exine wall. In this ubish body, a protective that material is present. That material we call it as the sporopolony, and this exine also shows a sporopolony here on this wall. So this is a ubish body which is formed here in case of these layer, we call it as a tapetum. From this ubish body, exine formation takes place in the pollen grain. Now this structure we call it as a pollen grain. Before this exine formation, this structure we call it as a, just that structure we call it as a microspore. We call it as what? Microspore. And when the ubish body form this outermost wall of this pollen, we call it as exine with the sporopollenin. Now this structure we call it as a pollen grain. I will use a little bit Hindi here to explain this portion again. ये जो this a layer which is there, this layer we call it as a tapetal layer. ये जो layer है beneath this middle layer, इस layer को tapetum layer कहा जाता है. And this tapetum layer, it is a nutritive in nature. दिस टपेटल लेयर जो है ये, इसके अंदर साइटोप्लाज्म डेंस होता है, प्रोमिनेंट न्यूक्लियस इसके अंदर प्रेजेंट होते हैं. शुरुआत में न्यूक्लियस जो होता है इट इज़ ए डिप्लॉयड इन नेचर, बट दिस डिप्लॉयड न्यूक्लियस इट ट्रांसफॉर्म इनटू लाइक दिस पॉलीप्लॉइड न्यूक्लियस and multinucleate structure formation takes place by free nuclear division in these tapetal layer. In these tapetal layer in the cytoplasm प्रोयूबिश बॉडी का निर्माण उसके अंदर होता है. प्रोयूबिश बॉडीज ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाती है इनटू यूबिश बॉडी, उसको दूसरा नाम भी है ऑर्बिक्यूल्स. और ये यूबिश बॉडीज जो है ये यहाँ से ट्रांसफॉर्म होती है इन द स्पोरोजेनस टिश्यू. Because in this sporogenous tissue one process is going on, that process we call it as a meiosis cell division. और meiosis cell division से from each sporogenous tissue pollen grain formation takes place. जो pollen grain बनता है उसके outer wall, जिसको outer wall जो बनती है, that outer wall we call it as exine. और ये exine जो है, ये एक्साइन, इसमें स्पोरोपोलोनिन नाम का जो सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट होता है, इट इज़ क्वाइट रेजिस्टेंस इन द नेचर. जब एक्साइन ये स्पोर्स के ऊपर फॉर्म होता है, देन दैट स्पोर वी कॉल इट एज अ पोलन ग्रेन. अगर ये एक्साइन इसके ऊपर नहीं बनता तो ऐसे स्ट्रक्चर को हम पोलन ग्रेन नहीं कहते, उसको हम माइक्रोस्पोर कहते. और माइक्रोस्पोर के ऊपर अगर एक्साइन यूबिश से अगर बन जाता है, देन ओनली वी कॉल इट एज अ पोलन ग्रेन लाइक दिस. So student, here in this structure in the microsporangium, by the process of meiosis cell division, that process we call it as a microsporogenesis, pollen grain formation takes place. Microsporogenesis. Here micro means such a structure which is only observed in microscope. Sporo means spore. We call it as a microspore. Formation of this microspore or pollen grain, that is a microspore. Microsporogenesis. Genesis means a formation. So we will define microsporogenesis as a formation of microspore from megaspore mother cell by the process of meiosis cell division. We call it as a microsporogenesis. In this microsporogenesis, from these sporogenous tissue or microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell, which is a diploid in nature, from this diploid cell, haploid microspore formation takes place by the meiosis cell division. Dear student, in previous video we have seen the detail of these TS of these microsporangium. In this video I would like to trace these tapetum, the function of the tapetum. Tapetum perform these four function. One function of tapetum is it provide nutrition to the developing sporogenous tissue or developing these microspore. Second function of these tapetum is it produce enzyme catalase. Third function of tapetum, it produce Yubish body in cytoplasm. And next function of tapetum is it form a pollen kit. We will discuss this pollen kit in next video. These are the four functions of these tapetum. Now these sporogenous tissue surrounds by these layer, that layer we call it as a tapetal layer. These sporogenous tissue are functional tissue. These sporogenous tissue are important tissue. these are sporogenous tissue, or we call it as a microspore mother cells or pollen mother cells. These all cells or these tissue are really a reproductive tissue or reproductive cell. All these other cells which are present here in this anther and in this filament, all these tissues or that cells, we call it as a vegetative cells, where mitosis cell division takes place. But in this tissue, that is a sporogenous tissue, or in the microspore mother cells or in the pollen mother cells, meiosis cell division takes place. From this microspore mother cell, which is a diploid in nature. Diploid in nature means 2n. For example, in case of this plant, we call it as Aza directa indica. This one, we call it as a neem. In this plant, 28 numbers of chromosomes are present, which is diploid in nature, 2n. Now, this microspore mother cell, out of these sporogenous tissue, sporogenous cell, this one microspore mother 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 cell, like this. In this microspore mother cell, which is diploid in nature, meiosis cell division takes place. Now, meiosis is the reductional cell division in which the chromosome number reduced to half. This chromosome number, it get reduced to half. If 28 number of chromosomes are present here, which is diploid in nature, and these microspore mother cell, if undergoes in meiosis cell division, from one cell, two cell formation takes place. And when the two cell formation takes place, here from this diploid 28 chromosome, haploid 14 chromosomes successively form in these nucleus of these two cell. So meiosis is the reductional cell division in which the chromosome number reduced to half. Then this one is the meiosis first, and this cell again undergoes in meiosis second, in which these 14 chromosomes which is present here, that 14 chromosomes, it replicates or duplicates and form 28 chromosomes here, and again here it divide mitotically, or we call it as a meiosis second, and in the meiosis second, from one cell again two cells are formed, and from this one cell again two cells are formed, where the chromosome number again remains as it is here, 14, here 14, here 14, here 14, here 14. Means ultimately here 14 chromosomes, here 14 chromosomes, here 14 chromosomes, here 14 chromosomes, from one microspore mother cell. When it undergoes in meiosis cell division, lastly 1, 2, 3, 4 cell formation takes place. 1, 2, 3, 4 microspore formation takes place, which is haploid in nature. So meiosis is the reductional cell division in which the chromosome number reduced to like this half. Now from one cell, from one microspore mother cell, lastly 1, 2, 3, 4 cell formation takes place, and is a 4 microspore which is formed by meiosis cell division. The arrangement of these microspores is in tetrad condition. Means 2 microspores they arrange like this, and 2 microspores they arrange like this. This condition we call it as what? Tetrad condition. Like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We call it as a tetrad condition. That is a tetrad formation. And this tetrad formation get possible due to these callose. Callose, it is a sticky material, and due to this sticky material, these are 2 microspore and these are 2 microspore, these are 4 microspore, they adhere together with each other. And here one enzyme, we call it as a callase enzyme, which is secreted by this tapetum, this one enzyme callase. This tapetal cell release or secrete this callase enzyme, and this callase enzyme dissolve the callose. And when the callose get dissolved, these are 4 microspores, they separate. And when the 4 microspore get separate like this, then Ubish bodies which is present here in the cytoplasm of these tapetal layer, it release here, surrounds this microspore, and here one protective layer formation takes place. That layer we call it as exine. Which layer? Exine. Beneath exine, next layer formation takes place, that is intine. And this one, this structure we call it as a plasma membrane. And beneath the plasma membrane, this one we call it as a cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm functional nucleus is present. This is a nucleus, cytoplasm, and this is a plasma membrane. This is the microspore. Means nucleus, cytoplasm, and plasma membrane. This one is a microspore. And this microspore get transformed into pollen grain due to this Ubish body, which is secreted by this tapetal layer. Tapetal layer release the Ubish body in which sporopollenin is present, and due to which here one protective layer formation takes place. That wall of the pollen grain, outer wall of the pollen grain, we call it as exine. Beneath the exine, next wall of the pollen grain formation takes place. We call it as intine. And beneath the intine, plasma membrane. Beneath the plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, functional nucleus is present. Pollen grain formation. Lastly, the pollen grain formation takes place here. From one microspore mother cell, 4 like this the pollen grain formation takes place here, and due to which millions of pollen grain formation takes place from these sporogenous tissue here in these microsporangium, in one microsporangium. The details of these pollen grain we will see in next video. Now we are going to see some abnormal features of these pollen grains, or these are tetrads. No doubt tetrad formation takes place in the plant, both in case of monocots as well as in case of dicot, but there are some plants in which there are some abnormal features are also there. In case of these cyperaceae, out of these 1, 2, 3, 4 microspore, only one microspore is functional. Only one microspore is functional, and these 3 microspore get degenerate, it get dissolve. It is abnormal features only found in some cases. In case of cyperaceae, such type of features formation takes place. The second example, that is a Cuscuta, these are reflexa, Amarvale. In case of these Cuscuta reflexa, polyspory formation takes place. It is also abnormal features. In case of these tetrad formation or pollen grain formation in the microsporangium. In case of these Cuscuta reflexa, it shows a polyspory, means from one microspore as per rule, from one microspore mother cell as per rule, 4 microspore formation takes place. But in case of this plant, Cuscuta reflexa, from one microspore mother cell, from this one cell, more than these 4 microspore formation takes place. We call it as a polyspory. What is it? Polyspory. Means it is an abnormal feature in some plants. Then next, that is a compound pollen grain formation takes place. Compound pollen grain formation means here 1, 2, 3, 4 pollen grain, they adhere with each other by these callose, and due to these callase enzyme, these 1, 2, 3, 4 like these tetrad, these pollen grain, it gets separate. But in case of these compound pollen grain formation, in case of one plant, we call it as a typha plant. This one plant, see here, this is a plant, we call it as a typha plant. This one, this plant we call it as a typha plant. And in this plant, what happened? In this plant, compound pollen grain formation takes place. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, these are tetrad, it get adhere with these callose, and these callose it do not dissolve by these callase. Means these tetrad, these microspores they release, or tetrad pollen grain they release for the process of the pollination. In case of these typha, then pollinium type of these one abnormal feature we are observed in the nature. Pollinium means a bag like. One example is there. That example we call it as this one we call it as a Calotropis procera, and in case of this Calotropis procera in the flower, here in this disc, here these are all the pollen grains, they are present in the bag like structure. That is an abnormal feature. Then next, in case of these masculi, here in case of Mimosa pundica lajvanti, compound pollen grain bind to form masculi. The compound pollen grain again bind with each other. These are tetrad, they bind with each other, and masculi formation takes place, which is the abnormal feature we can see in case of these Mimosa pundica. Types of tetrad. Here in case of these in microsporogenesis, from one microspore mother cell, 4 these microspore formation takes place, and the arrangement of these 1, 2, 3, 4 microspore, it is in like this tetrad condition. Means from one microspore mother cell, 4 microspore which is formed, they are arranged like this, 2 like this and 2 like this. Such type of arrangement we call it as a tetrad. That is a tetrad condition of microspore arrangement. But in the nature, in different plants, 5 types of these tetrad formation takes place. Out of these 5 types, most common tetrad of microspore are in case of dicot plants and in case of monocot plants. It means dicot and monocot plants, they show the most common type of tetrad. That is, in case of dicot plant, tetrahedral tetrad formation takes place, which is most common, and in case of monocot plant, isobilateral type of tetrad formation takes place, which is most common. These are tetrahedral tetrad which is formed in case of this dicot plant. When the cell undergoes in meiosis cell division, it forms simultaneously during meiosis cell division. Means that these tetrad formation takes place simultaneously during the meiosis cell division. When the microspore mother cell undergoes in meiosis cell division, the nucleus which is there, that nucleus divides in first meiotic cell division. In first meiotic cell division, in one cell like this, a 2 nucleus formation takes place. When the 2 nucleus formation takes place in the first nuclear division, this is a first nuclear division not followed by wall formation. And when this cell undergoes in second meiotic cell division, from these 2 nuclei like this 1, 2, 3 and 1, 4 nuclei formation takes place. And in second meiotic division, now these microspore formation takes place by this method. That method we call it as a centripetal type of like this centripetal type of wall formation takes place. Centripetal means here from the periphery wall formation takes place towards the center, and ultimately like this 1, 2, 3 and from backside 4, like this a type of these are tetrad of microspore formation takes place in case of this majority of the plant, majority of this dicot plant. And in case of monocot plant, it is formed by successive during meiosis cell division. Means one cell divided into 2 cells. When one cell divided into 2 cells by first meiotic cell division, as soon as 2 cell formation takes place, here cell wall formation takes place. Means successive cell wall formation takes place. Here nuclear division followed by wall formation by centrifugal type like this. From 1 cell, 2 cell formation takes place. From 2 cell like this 4 cell formation takes place. And here from the middle the cell wall formation takes place. It moves towards the periphery like this, and all these microspores, they appear like this. Means all these microspore they can easily detected or they can easily seen from one plane. This is a microspore. We call it as a isobilateral type of tetrad formation, which is common in case of this monocot plant. Then third type of these tetrad formation is a decasate tetrad formation. In case of, for example, this is a magnolia. When one cell divided into two cells, that two cells first divide longitudinally, and then from these two cell, four cell formation takes place. At that time, these upper two cells, the division is longitudinal, and lower two cells, they remain as it is. That is a right angle with a lower microspore. Such a type of a tetrad, we call it as a decasate type of a tetrad formation. Next type of the tetrad, we call it as a T-shaped tetrad. In case of these Aristolochia, one cell divided into two cells, one microspore mother cell divided into two cells. When one microspore mother cell divided into two cells, the division is longitudinal, and then another division is like this, a transverse. It shows a T-shaped tetrad formation. For example, in case of this Aristolochia. Then linear tetrad, that is the fifth one, that is a linear tetrad. Linear tetrad formation takes place in case of these Halophila. Halophytes means such a plants which are present in saline water, sea water. Means in case of sea grasses, such a type of linear tetrad formation takes place. Linear in one line. As soon as one cell divided into two cells, here transverse division takes place. As soon as from two cell, four cell formation takes place, again it divided by this transverse division, and all the microspores, they arrange in one line. We call it as a linear tetrad. So in this way, tetrad formation takes place by these five types. One tetrahedral tetrad, second that is isobilateral tetrad, third that is a decasate tetrad, fourth a T-shaped tetrad, then next one that is a linear tetrad. One point is important here. In case of these Aristolochia, these elegans, all these five types of these tetrads are